Okay, chat, if you know anything about me, you know that I love, love, love racing games. One of my favorite genres. Next to like Assassin's Creed, next to parkour games in general, next to skateboarding games, FPS games, and Marvel Rivals. I hate every hero shooter except for Marvel Rivals. I'm not gonna lie. Um, this video is called "I played and ranked every Need for Speed game." Let's get into it. Also, I watched a few seconds of this before even choosing this video. I can already tell this is gonna be a good video, so I'm gonna give bro a subscription and a like already.
Need for Speed.
You should do the same.
One of the longest lasting racing
To him,
franchises
not me.
within the gaming
I don't
industry.
deserve it.
Also, one of the best selling, rivaled by none other than the fat Italian man himself.
Dude,
What once used to be a quality racing franchise many years ago, then turned into the Call of Duty of racing games, with over
bro. Why did they decide? Like, they decided that they wanted to put, like, smoke effects and shit behind your car for what? Zoomers? Is that what we were doing? Is Shift part of the Need for Speed franchise? Or is he just is he listing off of racing games?
racing franchise many years ago, then turned into the Call of Duty of racing games, with over 20 entries into the series, and for some reason, I decided to play all of these games. Now you may be asking, why would I do such an obviously dumb activity?
Vroom.
While on the wiki,
That's most
it shows
wanted.
there's
That's most wanted 2012. No, it's not. No, it's definitely not.
I do such an
Which one is this? Is that Rivals?
obviously dumb activity.
Vroom.
While on the wiki it shows there is a total of 31 games, that doesn't mean I played 31 games. Some of these are just handheld versions
What the hell?
of Most Wanted and Carbon that I don't feel like playing. 3 of them
yeah.
were MMO games that would be shut down shortly after launching, and the other ones are mobile games.
Oh
And
no.
No, I don't feel like subjecting myself to that kind of torture.
No,
when
please
it comes
don't.
To ranking each of these games,
I don't even
will
wanna
end
watch
each
that
segment
part.
with what tier I would put them in, and then
This
show
one's
the final
Most Wanted, the original, isn't it? I can tell by the piss filter.
ranking at the end. Sound confusing? Good. Also, I'm not ranking any of this objectively, because if I was, this video would be boring. And also, this is my list, meaning
That's Most Wanted 2012.
my rankings. If you disagree with any of them, good for you. I don't care. These are just my stupid opinions.
That's
And
Rivals.
I mean that literally. My brain has been
Yes, this is the one where you can play as a cop car.
rotted from this, so please, do not agree with me.
And it's somehow a shittier option than playing as the car.
I am not a real critic, I just pretend to be. And one final thing before we start, these are not full-fledged reviews of any of these games. Maybe one
Which one is this? I thought this one was Rivals.
day in the future, but if I did that in this video, then the video would never.
By the way, I've only played Underground, Carbon, Most Wanted 2012, Rivals, Unbound. Any of the ones that were on the PS2. And some of the ones from the PS3. And the newest game.
end. These are just really a summary of some of my thoughts and
The hell
stuff
is
I
this
want to
one?
point out and laugh at. Sound good? Great. So let's begin.
And why
this
does it look
horrible
so
journey
kinda
with the
bad?
First Need for Speed. Road and Track presents The
Oh.
Need for Speed. Released on November 30th of 1994, and yeah, you can tell.
So
Not
this
only
is where it
graphically,
started.
but just how it controls, how it feels. It isn't horrible. Hell, I'd go so far to say it feels great for the time. But nowadays, it just really isn't the best. Then again, I normally can't tell if a racing game controls bad unless it's like Carmageddon. Don't be like
Did it
Carmageddon.
just stop playing there? When he crashed, did it just stop?
Well, you can't tell if a racing game controls bad unless it's like
Oh my
Carmageddon.
gosh.
Don't be like Carmageddon. There isn't many cars in this game, only 8 in total, with apparently a bonus one. And customization does not exist, but you know what does? The feds. They can pull you over during gameplay. Ah! The tracks also look decent for the time.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
granted, this is a 29-year-old game. We are all rapidly perishing.
That
Nothing
is
much
so
to say about
crazy.
it for me personally. Just a nice, simple little racing game. It's
He said 94, right? I was born in 2001. That wasn't even that much more time before I was born. That's so weird.
definitely aged a bit, but for what it was, it's fine and a little bit of fun. Solid C tier. Now let's move on to the sequel.
Oh, the sequel's called Need for Speed 2. Who would have guessed?
So, Need for Speed 2. Yeah, Road and Trek stopped supporting them pretty quickly. Released on April 30th of 1997, this game has not aged good at all either. Hell, I'd honestly say it aged...
That's weird because this game looks visually better. But also, what the fuck is this? It looks like that Lightning McQueen meme. Where it's like the nerdy one with the buck teeth, and his teeth are like poking out. That's what it looks like.
worse than the first game. But at least it lets you change the color of your car this time.
Oh,
Viper's
really?
got you in the pipe.
That looks like if Lightning McQueen was a Miata.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake!
There is more cars and even a special edition with even more cars. But there's no cops in this game for some reason, which
You can jump in the game? Not like physically jump, but like go off the track? I feel like that's pretty advanced for a game like this.
just kind of makes it really lame. It is
I don't know if that's how game design works. I have no idea, but
much faster than the first game. However, I don't think that makes it better.
I'm telling it
is
like I
aged
see it.
far worse than the original one, which to me is shocking.
which is funny because I mean this game has got actual like terrain and shit. And it, like I said, it looks better than the original game.
But trying to make turns in this game is genuinely frightening. The rest of it, though, is basically
There's
just
snow?
the first game. Again, I'm thinking C tier. Now let's move on to the next game.
Hot Pursuit. I think I played this one. If this was on the PS3, I played Hot Pursuit.
Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. Released on
Yeah, no, I don't remember playing this at all.
March 25th of 1998. And finally, a good game. This game is definitely aged, but when I played it...
Actually, maybe I do. I remember one of the games had a desert setting, but I don't remember if the graphics were this shit.
I gotta say, it was way more fun to play than the first two. The game looks way better graphically, and I like how the tracks look in this game. Too bad the controls age like shit, and the handling is not too good for today.
It's crazy that people make games that look like this nowadays on Roblox. Like, you can make a game that looks exactly like this on a totally different game. Within the game. That's wild.
There is a race mode called Hot Pursuit, where it's a one-on-one race but with cops chasing after you. I like this game though. It unfortunately doesn't feel too great to play, especially today, but I would be lying if I said it wasn't a fun time. I'm going to set this game in B tier for now, so let's...
That's like, yeah, which one did I play that I actually had fun with, but it wasn't a good racing game by today's standards? It was one of the Need for Speed games. I think it was the oldest one that I can find on Steam. It's definitely not that. Let me look up Need for Speed. Undercover. Undercover. When did this game come out? Hey Siri, when did Need for Speed Undercover come out? Yeah, 2008 was the oldest game that I've played recently. Which is crazy, because that game might have been on the PS2. And that was just one that I never got to play as a kid. High Stakes.
So Need for Speed High Stakes, released back in March of 1999. For some reason released as Need for Speed Road Challenge in Brazil and Europe. That has got to be one of the worst titles for a racing game ever. Yeah, can I get a Need for Speed Street Task? It is Hot Pursuit, again, except a bit better. This is the first Need for Speed game to have vehicle damage. And it even has performance modifications. But the coolest thing about this game in
Why
particular,
was that like a Mario Kart effect?
and it even has performance to have vehicle damage. And it even has performance modifications.
Like, that's
But
not
the
how a
coolest thing
crash
about
works.
this game in particular, the high stakes mode. A one-on-one race between you and another racer, and the winner takes the loser's car. And
The what? The wiener?
One-on-one race between you and another racer, and the winner takes the loser's car, and they never see that car again. This is a great
The
mode.
winner takes
this
what?
would be an awesome addition in the newer games for multiplayer, and it just
The
doesn't
winner
appear again. The
takes
tracks
it
all
all.
look good for the time. The game handles fine for the time. It handles pretty similar to Hot Pursuit. To me, it felt a bit stiff, but that isn't really a surprise. Almost all of these older games feel like that. The tracks, though, the tracks look really good. So far, probably my favorite tracks to look at. And it was just a fun time. It was pretty much just a more...
Chat, I gotta say something. I don't like tracks. That's one of the main reasons Gran Turismo 2, I think, was my first racing game. And that's one of the main reasons I didn't play that game a lot. Especially once I got Need for Speed and Midnight Club. I played Midnight Club 3. I had all the Midnight Club games. I had a bunch of the Need for Speed games. I had Gran Turismo. Midnight Club, all the way. But they're never going to make another one of those games, so don't even hold out hope for that, I swear to you.
fun Hot Pursuit, in my opinion.
Maybe I'll eat my words. Hopefully I do.
I'm going to put this game at the top of B tier. So let's go on to the next
Especially for the fact that Midnight Club 4 Los Angeles wasn't even as good as Midnight Club 3.
game.
Porsche Unleashed, I
Released
forgot
on
this
March
existed.
24th of the year 2000. Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed. Nothing about this stands out to me, honestly, except for the scenery. That right
I wish he was talking about what consoles these games came out on. That's the only thing I wish he covered here. Like, to add on to what he's been saying.
there is pretty. I will say the few tracks that are in this game are very well designed. Graphically, it is a beautiful game, especially for the year 2000.
No, this game
It
is-
is a shame that this
this
game
game
also
looks
suffers
really
from its
good.
stiff controls due to aging badly. But aside from that, it's a really solid game. On PC, that is. I've never played the PlayStation version, and I don't plan to.
I also like... Okay. Is that supposed to be a city behind you? Keep in mind, this is the year 2000. I just can't get over that. Oh my god, what is going on in the background? Anyways. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Despite it being a good game, I can't really say it's my favorites or a top tier game in the series, but I still think it is good, fun, and enjoyable. So for that, I'm gonna put it at
Oh yeah, I like how not every Need for Speed game has always taken place in a city. That's my main thing that I have an issue with the newer games.
the bottom of B tier for now. So let's move on to the next game on the list.
Although it is better, Hot Pursuit 2 is the one that I played. On the PS2. It is better that they have a mix of city and country, especially like how Undercover does it. I really enjoyed that aspect of playing the game. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel because I don't like the only city. I don't know how I feel about only country. So I don't know. maybe the mix is probably the best option. Because Unbound has you go along highways through a massive city, and you can go through the city center, and it'll have like trees and stuff, but it's only on the side of highways and shit. So like there's no country that you get to explore in Unbound, unfortunately. I remember loving this game.
Released on September 30th of 2002, Need for Speed.
Damn, bro, they had a tropical
Hot
area.
Pursuit 2. This game is good, like really good.
It is
Only
really
problem
good.
Is it controls like shit, and I suck at it. But the game is gorgeous for 2002. For some reason, the PS2 version, however, was just the best version of the game
Oh,
because
thank God. That's the one I had.
it was developed by EA Black Box. The PlayStation version has an exclusive mode called You Are the Cop, and for some reason, it is the first time we ever see it boost in a Need for Speed game, but only for the cops.
Wait,
and
really?
Only on this version. And unfortunately,
They were trying to explain how the cops can keep up with you, weren't they?
that was not the version I played. I played the PC version, which somehow is not the superior way to play it. The tracks all look good and are pretty well designed, I think. The cops exist. They aren't good, but they definitely exist. I think the game is pretty good for what it is, even despite its aging. I will put this game in the middle of B tier for now. So let's move on to the next game.
Brother, you knew exactly what you were doing with that. You just put the opening theme song to not Grand Theft Auto. Fuck! Midnight Club Los Angeles. Basically the same fucking thing. To the opening for this game.
This game. Released on November 17th, 2003.
Dang it.
Need for Speed Underground. This right here,
Yes.
this fucking game, this is where, in my opinion, the series starts getting really good. While the game has definitely aged, and honestly, that's an understatement.
No, I love this game. It gave me the same vibe as Midnight Club, just with less features.
From its AI to graphics, controls, etc., I still love it. This is the first Need for Speed game to let you completely customize your car, and it's great. The setting of the game is great too, the city streets at night. However, there's no cops for some reason, but it's a really fun game. However, it isn't perfect, unfortunately. Again, the controls are a bit iffy. Tracks are pretty much just reused throughout the entire game. And its AI.
Same thing with Undercover.
Oh god, its AI is pretty bad. Especially with the rubber banding, that was just nightmare fuel. Looking back and seeing a Volkswagen just speed up to you rapidly.
Damn!
This was the start of games being released yearly at this point. So
Bro,
the
flew
developers
by
have
you.
been rushed to get these out in time. For some reason, this game has a plot. That plot being become the best underground racer in the city. There's a few different kinds of events we got ourselves here. Most importantly, drift events and drag races.
Wait, why does that guy look like, or that car looks like the guy from the Cars movie?
Drift events are piss easy, and I hate drag races with every bone in my body. And the thing that really brings this game down is, for some reason, how frustratingly difficult the game gets toward the end. Like, really bad. I am fine with difficult games, don't get me wrong, but FromSoft's games wish they could be this difficult. I still really like this game though. I just wish there wasn't so much reused tracks and terrible
FromSoft
AI.
wishes
that
they
is
could
the only
be this
stuff keeping me
difficult.
from wanting to play the
That's
game again.
wild.
I will put this game at the top of B tier, however, so let's move on to the next game.
Underground 2 is the one I had.
Released on November 9th of 2004, Need for Speed Underground.
Yes, okay, so I had Underground 2, Carbon, Hot Pursuit 2, Most Wanted 2012, Rivals, and then I got a PC, and I have every game from Undercover 2008 to Unbound 2020.
The other game did this at the beginning too, but I find it hilarious that they have the actress for a character in the game talking about how they drive safe as they flash literal PNGs of her character in game around as she sounds so robotic saying it. Hey guys, it's me, Inferno Fury, from the Inferno Fury YouTube channel. Making videos was fun, but in real life, I sell meth. Just like the last game, this one also has a plot. Why are they giving these racing games plots now? The game is pretty much just the first Underground, but better. It has improvements. This is the first Need for Speed game to have an open world.
Burger King.
I saw this Reddit post asking which Underground was better. Someone said they're both the same, and then the reply underneath is just like...
yeah.
Yeah, they're identical. Personally, I believe Underground 2 is the better game of the two. Is it perfect? If I lie, then yes. But I still love the game. Again, it pretty much improved upon everything from the last game. So yeah, I think by default that makes it better. It even controlled a lot better.
I can't wait to revisit Carbon in this video though.
I think it is aged way better than I thought it would. It was fun. I really like the city you get to drive
Need for Speed Carbonite.
It's still an old Need for Speed game, however, but it does not suffer from poorly aging controls or handling like the previous games, in my opinion at least. For me, it felt fine. It did not feel nearly as stiff as Underground 1 or even Hot Pursuit 2. And yeah, this game kind of has a story almost, and plays out cutscenes as if they were a comic book. And no, the acting is not good. And with all that aside, yeah, I'm thinking S tier. So let's move on to the next game.
I've still never, to this day, played this game. I wish I grew up on this one. That was just the end of that statement. I wish I grew up on this one. Because everyone talks it up about how good it is and how this is the perfect racing game. And I'm like, I have never gotten to play it in my entire life. Unfortunate.
Released on November 11th of 2005, Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Wait, so I got a PlayStation in like 2008, a PlayStation 2. This game came out in 2005. Which means all of the games that I was playing in the PlayStation 2 era when I got a PlayStation 2 were all old as shit games.
Here, but this is
because that means these ones here were even older. I don't know if he said the years in any of the other games.
one of the best games in the series. Yeah, it might be boring and unoriginal, blah blah blah. I loved Most Wanted. This game is genuinely amazing, and I wish I could still play it legally.
First, I'm gonna take your ride.
Me too.
Then I'm gonna take your girl. Get ready for that.
Bold words coming from a man named Clarence. The real only downside to this game, in my opinion, is the fact that we are trapped in a city that looks to be covered in piss. In terms of controls and handling, I don't know. I think it's pretty good and aged well, despite it being the same age as me.
It's a world
weird.
covered in
Maybe
piss.
it's because I played the game the most out of the older ones and have a bit of history with it, but I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. The cops are back, and this is one of the first instances of them being good.
By the
And
way, I
also
have
the
really
last.
bad
This is
allergies
probably
right
the most
now.
fun and engaging aspect of the game. This game has some of the best cops within the series. Maybe not in the lower heat levels, but those are the lower heat levels. Of course, they wouldn't be good. But once you get past 3, that's when the game really gets going. Then you got the cutscenes in the game. They're so bad, it's perfect. I don't think I could accept this game if the cutscenes were actually good. The acting is just straight up bad, and I love it for that. But there are 3 standout characters within this game that make me love it. Ronnie, Cross, and Clarence.
Which is so funny seeing like actual people against these clearly computerly made backgrounds.
actually good. The acting is just straight up bad, and I love it for that.
It's because they're all standing around a green screen wearing what cool people wore in the 2000s.
But there are 3 standout characters within this game that make me love it. Ronnie, Cross, and Clarence. No, I refuse to call him Razor. It's not on his birth certificate. Why is this a real image of him? What does he do in this game to warrant this kind of shot? Ronnie is just a bumbling idiot. Cross is one of the most over-the-top police officers ever, and it's amazing. And then there's Clarence here. He is edgy. He is Shadow the Hedgehog. Customization, in my opinion, is not as good as Underground 2, but honestly, it's not that bad. I've heard some people say it's lacking. I don't know. I don't think it's that bad. Drift events are gone, but we still have drag races, which sucks. The rest of the race events are cool though. Then there is the open world you get to drive around, Rockport. See, Rockport is cool. It's a dying city that looks eerily similar to where I grew up. Despite it being all gross looking, it's cool. However, compared to Underground 2, I think Underground 2 is the more visually appealing map. But I feel like Rockport being the way it is on purpose, and I still like it for the most part. Also the soundtrack, not so much the licensed music, while I still like it, it's
Burger
really
King.
good. But the original soundtrack. I don't
Again?
think words can even describe the greatness that is the original
I wish he
soundtrack.
pointed it out
It's all
again
dynamic too,
in the
so
video.
it's pretty much, it has something playing for each thing you are doing. Oh hey, did you know they put this game on the GBA? And even the Nintendo DS. This game is truly peak Need for Speed despite all the TDM within the game. And no, I will
This
not
was
be
on the
listening to
DS?
any opposition to my stance.
They couldn't even make a good Lego Star Wars 3 game on the DS.
Easily an S tier game. So let's
I mean, it
move on
was
to the next
decent, but
game.
it's not good. Carbon. I played this one.
Released right around Halloween at the end of October in 2006, Need for Speed Carbon. I really liked this one. It is basically Most Wanted, but without the pit.
Yes, this is the fun one where you get to run into like obstacles that can fall on top of the police officers, like this big donut.
But without the piss. No, seriously, this game
Crushing
is just a
cops with a giant donut is hilarious.
skinned Most Wanted, and I love it. It controls a bit better. Customization is way better.
It's a reskin
Graphically,
Most
the
Wanted?
game still
Okay.
looks really good.
Then I did get to
Cops are
kind of
pretty
play
similar
Most
to
Wanted.
Most Wanteds, however, in my playthrough, they barely had a presence, and definitely not as good as Most Wanteds. The game also has cutscenes and tries to have a story. Somehow it's worse than Most Wanted. Yeah, it is
Oh.
bad and
Oops.
way less enjoyable than Most Wanted. Instead of Clarence and Ronnie,
My
we
bad.
have Darius and the Boring Squad. Despite how painfully unenjoyable this story is, I still like some of the characters. Like Darius, the actor who plays him, kills it and almost lives up to Clarence. The rest of the antagonists
Why did
that you
everybody
deal
in this era have small titties? Am I the only one that's noticing that? Like, nobody had... Anyways.
within the game are just so boring. They will drive up to you when you are on their turf and say some lame shit and drive off. You got Neville. He's that comic relief character. He's cool.
That's great. I'm the monkey.
And then there's this guy Sal, who is nervous because he is tonight's big loser. The rest of the characters I don't care for. This
What
one girl
was
is
Sal gonna say there?
tonight's big loser. The rest of the characters I don't care for.
Sal. You can't say that. I know this was the 2000s, but you can't say that.
This one girl is like kind of an ex or something, but like I don't care. The rest of the characters just kind of exist to exposition dump and explain the plot to you. The story just sucks. I did not care about it at all, even less than I did for Most Wanted story. You also have whatever the hell this nightmare fuel is.
Nikki's good. Just listen to her. And I'll stick around and I'll help out. Make
He looks like the Polar Express.
sure she's not too hard on you.
This game has events
Why was Kevin James just appearing in my nightmares?
This game has events similar to the previous game as well, except with this new one. It's called Race Wars. It can have up to 20 drivers in one
What?
race, at least on the 360 version, but only 12 on PC and PS3. Now this game has Cruise, a cool feature and concept that kind of
Carbon was on PS3. So you're telling me I played the inferior version of this game growing up?
Sucks. Basically, on the map, there's different sectors, with each
Most
one
likely.
being controlled by a crew until you beat them.
That's
which is
wild.
cool.
I didn't even know
It's not
that.
as cool as it could be, though, and you also kind of have to create your own crew with people like Neville and Sal. And these guys would be your wingman, which also sounds cool, until you actually play the game with them and realize how much better off you'd be without them. They try to help you during a race. There's 3 different kinds: blockers, which try to take out other drivers; drafters, that try to let you slipstream off of them; and scouts, which can find shortcuts, with also additional specialties as well, like lessening police activity. But the only real notable one is giving you the auto sculpt feature, which is also a cool feature that kind of also blows. It lets you basically create your own parts almost. It's not the best thing ever, but I see what they were going for. It's a cool feature, just not great. Granted, it was 2006, so it definitely wasn't going to be amazing. It was going to be very limited for what it was. And probably one of the coolest parts of the game, the canyon events. They are really cool. I love them. And they do not have much of a presence. Then finally, the soundtrack. Oh my god, it's so good. Just as good as Most Wanted's. It is still somewhat over the top, and I love it. And this might be the last time I actually
Okay, but no game soundtrack beats Midnight Club 3.
That's a soundtrack. Unless I lied, which I probably did. I love Carbon. It has its fair share of issues, but I can look past them because I am nostalgia blinded and biased.
Where were you going,
alongside
bro?
Most Wanted. So far, I'm unsure how I'm going to rank these 2 legends. But with that aside, let's move on to the next game. Released on November 13th, 2007, Need for Speed Prostate Exam. Need for Speed Pro Straight. I don't know why, but I always used to hate this game when I was younger. Like, whenever I even saw the box art, I would just get angry for
Prostate
thinking about this
exam.
game. This all started because when I was younger at a friend's house, I would play it, and I hated it. I don't even know what caused it. Never mind, I remember. But playing it for the first time since I was like 8, it's not bad.
Was it
It's actually
just the over-the-top total animation? Because some of these games really fucking punished you for crashing, bro. And I hated it. Most Wanted 2012 did that shit.
Decent. However, it's just not for me. But even
You would run straight into a wall and sit still. It would take 5 seconds for the animation to play. And then the animation takes like 10 seconds. And by that point, by the time you get back into driving, you're in 10th place.
though it's not for me, I still think some of these reviews are lying. This kind of junk should never have been sold out of USA. Don't know what that's about. Electronic Arts just do business. Yeah, they do that sometimes. This game seems
They do
to
that
be
most of the
weird.
time.
I've seen
But
quite
yeah.
a bit of people dislike this game because it's different from Carbon and Most Wanted. Yeah, there is no more open world. Handling is much different, and we now have a protagonist named Ryan Cooper. I really don't have much to say about this one, to be honest. It just isn't my kind of
Actually,
game.
having no
Damage
open
affects
world
your car's
is the
performance, which
worst
is
thing that
cool,
a
I
Need for
guess.
Speed
Auto
game
scope
could do.
returns from Carbon, that's cool. All the tracks of this game are fine for the most part, but then you have the Nevada Highway. You truly have never played this game if you haven't totaled at least 3 cars on this track. The game is graphically pretty good. It doesn't look like someone pissed on the whole thing. The soundtrack is good. Yeah, it's a pretty fine game in my opinion. It's not that great, but it has some redeeming qualities to it.
Why does this look
However,
worse
in my
than Carbon?
opinion, I think I'm going to rank this lower on the list.
Is it
I'm
'cause it's
going to be
during the
placing this
day?
in C tier. However, it will be above the first 2 Need for Speed games. So let's move on to the next game.
Undercover, I just played this one recently. I still have yet to
Released
to beat
on
it.
November 17th of 2008, Need for Speed Undercover. This game released on pretty much everything from the 360 to the fucking N-Gage. No wonder why people hate this. As the name suggests, you play as an undercover cop to gather evidence to convict crime lords or something. And yeah, the story really sucks and I don't feel like elaborating. Now, I
They really wanted to do a Fast and Furious storyline.
have heard that this is the worst Need for Speed game. What do I think? Yeah, kind of. I don't think it's good. Would I say it's that bad? At least not the PC version, but I'm sure the N-Gage version is amazing. The game has a lot of issues. Like, personally, I'm not a big fan of how the game handles, and the physics, they just feel strange. Like, some cars control fine, but then the rest will handle like shit. Maybe it's a skill issue. or the tumor that's been progressively getting larger as this video went on, but who knows. Graphically, it looks pretty meh. Like, it's not terrible, but come on, this came out after Pro Street Carbon and Most Wanted. And personally, I think those games look far better. The open world you drive around in is
Pro Street does not look better than this.
okay. And
Pro Street, I just watched you play it for about 2 minutes, and I hated looking at it. I'm not gonna lie.
it's fine. The music is great. Nothing much to speak on that. And hey,
Especially
wait,
for, like,
that
2007.
NPC car looks identical to the NPC cars in Burnout Paradise. This isn't a criticism. I just find it really funny. Both games are published by EA. Only difference is EA seem to love one more than the other. It makes sense though, because Black Box was put through the meat grinder to get their games out yearly, so to reuse an asset like that, it kind of makes sense. I do not understand game development at all, so I could be wrong.
Damn,
but
they
I
were
love-
pressured to put them out yearly, and now they haven't made a game in 6 years. That's
love
insane.
to understand game development. While I don't think the game is complete utter garbage, that's a lie. It is kind of utter
Oh,
garbage.
the Audi TT.
I was gonna defend this game.
I
but
forgot
no.
that car
I can't really say I
existed.
found it fun. I got bored of it.
It
after
kind of
about
pisses
an
me
hour
off
and a
that
half of
I
playing
have
it.
to
And
know
also
that
the
that car
pop-in
exists
just
again.
Started pissing me off, so I just stopped playing. This was also when the brain rot started to get to me, and I just felt so tired playing it. I don't hate this game, at least not as much as the forum users from 14 years ago do. But I'm definitely not a fan of the game. I'm gonna put it in D tier because, yeah, it's just not fun in my opinion. So with that aside, let's
Damn.
move on to the next game.
I thought it was a good game. He put it in the worst one. That's wild.
Released on September 15th, 2009, Need for Speed Shift. This game broke my PC and I still don't exactly know how or why. So all the footage here is not mine. Go check the description for that. Because for whatever reason, my PC did not agree with this game and would refuse to just run anything. I was still able to play a bit of the game, but once it started doing that, I just gave up because I did not
Where
feel
is
like
he
trying
playing
to deal with
this at?
But
'Cause
based
it's
on what
not
I did
on
get to play,
Steam.
it wasn't bad, actually. I myself am not a fan of this kind of gameplay for Need for Speed, but the handling model is nice. It controls pretty well. I only got about like 5 or so hours into it, but I ended up enjoying what I played, way more than something like Pro Street. It's definitely more realistic for a Need for Speed game, and I don't think it's that bad. The game looks great, the tracks look cool, but aside from that, I really don't have much to say about it because I didn't really get that far into the game as I would have wanted to. I'm still going to put the game at the top of C tier, however, so let's move on to the next game.
Yeah, I've never heard of this shit. Or the one before it. What the hell?
Released on November
the hell
2nd
is
of
Nitro?
2009 for the Wii and DS only. Need for Speed
Oh,
Nitro.
okay, that's
this game
why.
is just so weird. Do I think this game is bad? Yeah, it kind of blows, honestly. The game is really, and I mean really arcadey. And it makes sense.
It looks
released
like
on
you're
the
playing
Wii.
a Hot
You wouldn't
Wheels
expect them
game.
to release a Gran Turismo hyper-realistic simulator, would you? Oh, you would? Well, you're weird. The game in some ways almost feels like Burnout Revenge with how it handles, and not in a good way. No, I'm not saying that it feels identical to it because it mostly isn't, because one of them is a good game, and the other is Need for Speed Nitro on the Wii. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the art style. Let's just say, I'm not a fan. All the cars look weird with it. It makes them look like a Hot Wheels car. If you told me this was a game based on a shit DreamWorks movie I avoided as a kid, I'd probably believe you. It doesn't look that
I
bad
would too.
for what it is. Granted, it was made for the Wii, expecting this to look like anything made since Most Wanted is just stupid. But yeah, the art style is just not that good in my opinion. However, some of you might like it. Despite that though, I don't think the tracks
Why
are
did they
that
put
bad.
the badges so huge on the cars?
They look somewhat okay for the most part, despite not really being that great to race on. At least for the art style, it's mostly just the cars and these characters that look weird to me. So the police are back in this game. Why?
Oh my
Honestly,
god.
they probably shouldn't even be here. A maximum of 2 police cars will chase you and only just get more aggressive as you get your heat higher. This is probably due to hardware limitations. I'm only assuming so because it's a Nintendo console. It's always hardware limitations for them. There's 5 locations in this game: Rio,
He's not wrong. It really is always hardware limitations for Nintendo, no matter what they do.
Cairo, Madrid, Singapore, and Dubai. Unless it's on the DS, because the DS got San Diego. Each location has its own top racer, which is basically like a King in Pro Street, except they look
There's another
funny.
Need for Speed
Personally, I'm
game in
not the
San
biggest fan of
Diego.
this game. I do
Or
not
there's
think
another
it's
racing
that
game
good.
in San
I do
Diego.
not like it. I'm gonna put it at
That's
the
so
top of D
weird
tier.
because Midnight
Moving
Club
on.
3 took partially place in San Diego.
Released on November 16th, 2010, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Hey, wait a minute. The first game in the series to be developed by Criterion, the Burnout developers, and was supposed to be a
Wait.
reboot of the Hot Pursuit game. The game is good. It
Didn't
control-
Criterion make the Most Wanted follow-up too? Huh.
Weird for me at first, but aside from that, I don't have too many issues with the game. It looks nice graphically, however, I will admit the tracks are quite boring to look at. I do like some of the tracks though, especially with some of the shortcuts. Specifically this one with the railroad going through a cave. That's cool. I like that. For some reason, this was the only Need for Speed game to be remastered. Yeah, this one. Not
Really?
Most Wanted, the best-selling game in the series. This one. I like the levels where you raced around in a police car, especially the levels where you had to take down street racers. Although, sometimes the AI was questionable. However, I like playing this way more than I did with the first two Hot Pursuits. I know that sounds blasphemous, but it does feel like a somewhat modern version of these games. My
Yeah.
only real issue with it is that, yeah, some of the environments are a bit boring. It's not a deal breaker for me. I still like most of the locations. And yeah, I'll be real, it's kind of an issue I have with the other Hot Pursuit games too. But the tracks I think are pretty well designed enough, so it really doesn't matter to me that much. The cops though are pretty much the same as they were in the original Hot Pursuit games, just a simple modifier on the race. Not the worst thing ever, but yeah, they don't leave much of an impact on me personally. It's a pretty good game in my opinion. I'm gonna put it in A tier. So let's move on to the next game.
Wait a second. Before we
Released on-
move on. Oh, I thought I had this one for some reason.
On March 29th of 2011,
I
Need for
recognize
Speed
the
Shift
cover
2
for the game, but
Unleashed.
I've never seen
No
anyone play
real
it.
reason to have that subtitle. In my opinion, it's pretty good. I like it. The way I see it, however, is that it just seems to be an improved version of
No. This looks like... What is this one? This looks like Gran Turismo 2 from the PlayStation 2.
Shift 1, but at least this time I was able to play it. The handling and physics were better, the AI was much better in my experience. I actually liked a lot of the tracks in this game way more than the first Shift as well. I really don't have much to say here about this game, except that I like it and it's better than the first Shift. It's definitely not my favorite game, far
Why are
from
you
it,
all in the
but
same
I
car?
expected something more boring than what I played. Going to put it in B tier.
You're all
So
in a
let's move on to
Lexus
the next game.
LFA.
Released on November 15th of 2011. Jesus Christ, no wonder this franchise fell off. Need for Speed The Run. I did not know this game existed. I've went my whole life not knowing about this game.
They released 4
It was
games
also
in 2
apparently the
years.
last game
Or in
Black
like
Box
2 or
ever
3
made
years.
before shutting down. Sad times. So this game is pretty much if Michael Bay made a video game based on how he directs movies. But the first thing I need to address, oh my god, this game is gorgeous. It was made on the Frostbite 2 engine.
It
and
does look
damn,
really
it
good.
makes it easy to forget this game came out 12 years ago. In terms of how it handles, cars have weight, and you need to actually brake to make turns. It's cool, it takes a bit of skill. It's still really good to play today. The story is truly a story, if I'm being honest. Probably the best in the series, but that's kind of because it had to be. You play as this guy named Jack Rourke, and he owes the mob money, and they keep trying to kill him. And so you try to pay off his debts, and so is entered into this big race called The Run, which you must race from San
Okay.
Francisco all the way to New York. All the locations you
What?
race through are really cool.
San
especially in the
Francisco
snowy
to New
mountain
York?
areas. That level is crazy. You even get to race through a fucking avalanche. It's insane. Oh yeah, this game also has QuickTime events. How does that even work in a racing
I have
game?
this one, right? Am I going insane? Oh, I do have Hot Pursuit Remastered. The Run. I don't have this one. What the fuck?
you'd be surprised how little of a nuisance it actually is. There's also parts where our character just gets out of the car, and you do QTEs just to make it through the area. It's dumb, it's silly, it's stupid. But aside from that, the game is fine,
Doing
really. It is definitely not a
QTEs
bad
in
game
a
by any
racing
means,
game
and
is
has a good bit of
weird.
positives. However, I'd be lying if I said it was great. It's also more of an experience rather than just a regular old Need for Speed game. It's also really short. Pretty sure it's the shortest in the series. It's also kind of a one and done in my opinion. After I beat the game, I feel like I might not have the urge to play it for at least a long time, unlike most of the games in this series. However, that experience was definitely an experience if I ever had one. I'm gonna put it in the bottom of B tier, and with that, let's move on
I
to the
can't
next
wait to
game.
see what he does with Unbound. Oh, and this one.
Released on October 30th.
I'm not gonna lie, chat, before we get into it. I know it's called Most Wanted, and it should have. There's a lot of things that they should have done with the game. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of things should have been added. Should have been customization. Where the fuck is like half of the shit that was in Most Wanted, and that isn't in this game? But I love this game. I love it. It's a good game.
2012 Need for Speed.
I've beat the entire game too, on live stream, by the way. If you want to check my playlists on my main channel, you can find every VOD of me playing this game ever.
Most Wanted. Oh, fuck off. I think that
I beat every single race with every single car. Gold.
this game is just fine. Not horrible, but definitely riding the line between being a mid or bad game. Another Criterion developed Need for Speed game. I have a really hard time believing this is the same team that worked on Hot Pursuit 2010 and Burnout Paradise. The common thing I see a lot of people say about this game is it's just Burnout Paradise but worse, and I agree. The map for this game, I don't like it. I think it's very bland and boring and gray. It's kind of like Paradise City, but without the paradise, and you are only left with city. Graphically speaking, the game is still gorgeous to look at, make no mistake. If there's
Need for
one thing I
Speed
will
City.
compliment it for, it is definitely the graphical fidelity and the handling.
I don't
and
know, I like
controls,
how they
I
mix
don't
the
think are
city
terrible.
with the
It
country
feels
in
very
this
similar
game.
to Hot Pursuit 2010,
It's satisfying
which I
to
don't
me.
think we're bad in that game either. The cops in this game suck. And for a game called Most Wanted, that just feels like a sick joke. They either act stupid or
They do
borderline
suck.
incompetent,
Really
or become
bad.
the most nightmarish creature you could ever run into. It's never in the middle. To unlock some of the cars, you need to shut
Yeah,
down the driver.
literally the Most Wanted, the cops. I don't even think there's tiers for like how wanted you are. It's just they send cops after you, and if the cops don't catch you, then whatever. There's no helicopter. I don't think there's anything like that in this game. Either I'm misremembering or I was too good that I just kept escaping them before they got the opportunity to even be really mad at me.
To get their car. Huh, that's odd. That's exactly what you need to do to unlock a new car in Burnout. It was either really easy and you shut them down immediately, or they send you across the entire map because they just keep crashing themselves.
Oh yeah, and to unlock the rest of the cars, there's basically no progression at all. Pretty much you could just drive up to a car at a random spot and just take
Yes.
it and drive away. That is how you switch cars, and that's how you unlock the rest of the cars in the game.
In terms of customization, it's very lacking, at least in the visual customization.
I don't know, I kind of like that.
It's just a simple color, that's it. But there is the modifications that can improve your car, which are basically just different parts you can change on your car. And you can pretty much change these whenever, and it's actually pretty cool. Originally was supposed to be like a sequel to the original Most Wanted, which would have been really cool, but the devs didn't have enough time to finish it, so it turned out like this instead. I do think the game gets a lot of unnecessary hate, which is mostly due to the fact
No,
that it is
making a
called
more
Most Wanted.
modern Most Wanted would have been really cool though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Which, yeah, it makes sense when you do that. You get hate. But I also don't think it's that good of a game either. It's just kind of mid. I'm gonna put this game at the bottom of C tier. So let's move on to the next game.
I like this one too, a lot.
Released on November 15th, 2013. Need for Speed Rivals. I think this might be one of the most unbalanced racing games right behind Mario Kart Wii. Listen, you can play as either a racer or a cop, but I swear the cops are just so much better than racers. And the pursuit
I
tag
think having
for
a
the
health
police
bar in cars
are
is hilarious.
basically boring adult versions of Mario Kart items. They are way too good and probably should have gotten nerfed. Like, yeah, you can be a racer, and even being a racer itself isn't that bad, at least in solo. But compared to a cop, maybe it's just me, maybe I suck at being a racer, but Jesus, man, I blink once and I'm at critical damage as
No,
a
this is
racer.
what I was
Meanwhile, as
saying
a
earlier, is the cop is overpowered in this game. Which I get it, like, they want you to have a fun experience as the cop, but it's just too much.
I'm being just taken down by 7 other drivers, and I'd probably still be alive to take thousands more of hits. It handles pretty similarly to Most Wanted 2012 and Hot Pursuit 2010, but man, this is just such a nothing game. The world of this game being Redview County, one of the most boring to look at in racer maps within the whole series, only rivaled by Most Wanted 2012 and one other game I will get to later. Customization of this game, while isn't as lacking as Most Wanted 2012 or even The Run, like, yeah, you do get to choose decals, but this is what it looks like when you do that. The upgrading in this game is also just kind of so simple it hurts. In terms of the car list, this game probably has the most lacking and boring roster of cars in any game in this series. The cars that are in this game are not bad by any means. I still like them, but it feels like there's not too many options, or at least too many interesting options. The game also has this feature called All Drive, which basically makes you play in the open world with other players. This feature is cool in theory, but man, is it annoying. Hey, remember host migration from Black Ops 2? Yeah, it's like that in this game too.
Somehow I don't know about it.
All units be advised, pursuit in progress of a 1041. Officer requesting backup.
What? Are you kidding me? Worst game ever.
Now this could work.
Worst where did you find that clip?
Racer thing. However, it prevents you from pausing even in the single player. Yes, in the fucking single player. But at least the game has dynamic weather. Oh boy, such a revolution. I just think the game sucks, to be honest. It was really boring and I gained nothing from playing it. I'm gonna put this game in D tier somewhere. And
Damn.
with that, yeah. Let's move on to
Like
the next
half the
game.
games I like are in D tier. Am I uncultured?
Released on November 3rd of 2015, Need for Speed. This was supposed to be a reboot of the series to take it back to what people loved about it. This game was more of a return of the Underground and Most Wanted and Carbon style of gameplay, kind of. Did it succeed at that?
No.
This game is kind of disappointing, because it sucks. The game brings back the live-action cutscenes, and instead of them being so bad they're good, they are just so mind-numbingly boring, it hurts. I do not like any of these characters. The game also takes place at night, and this map is dull. I could not tell you any recognizable areas in this game. In my opinion, a lot of the maps in the series are like this as well, but in this game,
I remember I started playing this game for about an hour, and then I never replayed it again. I'm eventually going to, but I don't know. We'll see.
The cars all handle fine in this game, however. I do not actually find an issue with it, unlike some people. The police in this game, however... What police? The police in this game are pathetic. Probably some of the worst the series has seen, because, yeah, sometimes they do show up. And the longer they spend chasing you, the higher your fine is. But these guys are nowhere near the level they were in Most Wanted. Hell, even Carbon... Hell... Undercover, for that matter. They are barely even a modifier on regular racing, like they were in the older Hot Pursuit games. Most of the time, they don't exist. Oh yeah, you can't pause the game either. Yeah. A good thing, though, is the customization. It's not the best, but it's good. Graphically, the game looks good as well, but, like, that shouldn't really be a flex for a game that came out in 2015. It's only, like, almost 8 years old. Jesus. The game overall, however... I'm just a bit more negative towards, just because I got bored of this game really quick. I had a little bit of fun for the first hour or two, but afterward, I was damn near falling asleep because it was all the same. It all felt the same. It definitely isn't the worst game in the series, but I can't fully commit to calling it a good game because, to be honest, I think it kind of sucks. However, I definitely found a tiny bit of enjoyment out of it. So I'm going to put it above the first two Need for Speed games in C tier. So let's move on to the next game.
I still haven't
Released
played
back
this
in
one either, and
November
I'm
of
pretty
2017,
confident
Need
that
for
I
Speed
have it. I am pretty confident I have it. Yep, right there.
Payback. I should be paid back for wasting my time with this. One of the most hated games in the series, and honestly, I agree.
Why does this
And
game
no,
look
it's
like
not
that?
because they forced microtransactions into the game. We will get to that, don't worry. This game, in terms of handling, I mean, it's not terrible. Don't get me wrong, it's basically just like 2015, except this time there's off-road races, and these things just suck so much ass. The map itself is boring based on Las Vegas. It sucks. This was the other most boring open world that I didn't mention earlier. It is mostly a desert. I hate this. The upgrading in this game is really lame. It is just these speed cards. You can get a new one after winning an event or just buying them with your credits in game. No, not as microtransactions, at least not to what I'm aware of. I didn't see any tab that let me bought them. Or use a literal slot machine to get one. You can use this for free, however. I have heard some people say it is random if you will even get a better part than what you already have. And they've even claimed that you can get a worse part. That is just a straight up lie, because whenever I chose randomly, I always got a better part than what I had 95% of the time. There was the off chance, very rarely, that I would get a part that is the exact same level as what I already have. But that rarely happened for me.
Huh.
The story sucks. It's stupid and lame. It's basically a Fast and Furious movie, but worse. Somehow. I do not care about any of these characters. I hate all of them except for Mac. Mac is fine sometimes, but even he gets on my nerves quite often. My biggest issue is that they just don't shut up. Now, I would talk about how it is graphically, but I realize that this is still a modern Need for Speed game, so it kinda has to look good. Even though it came out 6 years ago and is probably old enough to be in the first grade now. Cops exist in this game. You can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes, because no, they really don't. Because I do not recall a single pursuit happening within free roam. They mostly just came after me during story-related missions or from these dumbass bait crates, which basically, if you collect one, the cops will chase you until you reach an exit point. It's really stupid. I'm putting this game at the bottom
That's
of
so
D
funny.
tier. Let's move on.
Here we
Released
go.
on November 8th,
The game everybody loves. I played it for an hour. I was extremely fucking bored.
2019 Need for Speed Heat. I went into
And I
this
hated
one
the way it
ready to
controls.
hate and expected it to suck like Payback in 2015 and Rivals. No, it's actually pretty good, and I kind of loved Heat for what it was, which really doesn't make sense at all, I am aware. But I like the handling in this game, even though it is pretty similar to Payback in 2015, but I think it is a bit better. If you want to talk
I
physics,
hate the way that
which I
the
don't,
game
it's
handles.
questionable. The map for this game is also not terrible. I actually like it. It is definitely nothing too crazy. I mean, it's just Miami. The upgrading is normal again and not whatever the fuck Payback was. The gimmick with this game was the day and night thing, I think. You can choose to race during the day or during the night. During the day, you will do legalized street racing to earn money. Cops can be seen patrolling during the day, however, they will not
They
come
did
after
the same
you,
thing
even if you really
during
should be
Unbound.
put behind bars. But then you race during the night. It is all illegal street racing, and this earns you rep, which is used to increase your rep level. This is when your heat will actually increase, and when cops will actually try to hurt you. Cops in this game, I will give them credit, they actually exist. I ran into them way more in this game than the last two, even when in just regular free roam. And they are just kinda okay. They aren't very challenging even at the higher heat levels. 5 is really
Excuse
the
me.
only heat level where I was even a bit concerned about that, but still much better than the cops in
Damn it.
2015 and Payback. You have the story. It's fine. And
My
it's
sneezing
decent
is
in terms
happening
of a
again,
Need for
bruh,
Speed story.
and I wanna
It's not
die.
nearly as stupid as Paybacks, but it isn't anything memorable or interesting. I think the game is really good, and this is why I do not listen to video game reviews. I liked it. I can see why some may not like it, however. But in my opinion, it was pretty good. But did you know Ghost Games, the developer of this game, would shut down a few months later? EA, stop doing this. I'm gonna put this game at the top of A tier, so let's move on to the next game.
Unbound.
Released on December 2nd of 2022, Need for Speed Unbound. I think this game is overhated.
Oh, it was 2022. My bad. I thought it was 2020 that the game came out. So it's been 4 years.
Yeah, I said it. This is the first game Criterion has worked on for the NFS series since, I think, Rivals. And I think this game is cool. I like the style of it. It definitely tries to go for more of that style Underground, Most Wanted 05, and Carbon had. And obviously, it doesn't quite compare to it. I mean, how could it? It's a modern Need for Speed game. The game handles pretty much like Heat, however, I think I like the drifting in Heat a bit better. The map itself, yeah, it's honestly kind of a bit bland. It's basically just Chicago, but boring. However, I refuse to put this on the same level as the maps of Payback, Rivals, and Most Wanted 2012. I want to talk about the soundtrack because it seems to be the most clowned on part of the whole game.
I
and
love the
they
soundtrack.
always use the same songs when they clown on it. I personally do not think it is a bad soundtrack. I definitely feel like it is too samey, however. It is mostly hip-hop music, which is the genre I listen to the most, yeah. But you know, sometimes maybe not having it mostly be one genre might not be so bad, wouldn't you think? Now you got the driving effects and the cel-shaded characters in the game, which
Yeah, but they
seem
have
to be
hip-hop
mixed
music in
on.
every
I
genre,
liked them.
though.
I like.
I
the
think that's
driving effects.
awesome.
The driving effects are really cool in games. Some people may find them distracting, which is fair.
Did I say genre? I
don't,
meant
though.
language.
I think it adds a lot of flair to the game. Then the cel-shaded quote-unquote anime characters, I don't have a problem with either. They actually fit into the world way better than you think. The game adds this thing called a burst nitrous. It's cool. It is literally just a burst of nitrous. It can be useful sometimes, however, not all the time. The cops in this game, literally just like Heat, at Heat 4 and 5, they started getting difficult to deal with, but for me, it was pretty much the same.
Oh my god!
Now the story and writing. Good God, is it horrible. Sometimes it is straight up unbearable, but then other times it is hilariously
I like the
bad.
story, but the
over
ending
radio,
was
we
shit.
hear about this election, and one of the candidates is literally just some old dude with dementia.
The show, Holden?
Yep.
So you've spoken about the enemies of Lakeshore in some of your campaign ads. Who exactly do you think they are?
Thanks for asking, Simon. The list is long. Communists, well, they're in the top 5. Lefties, librarians.
Oh, librarians?
Oh, why would you say that? Libertarians. Post-left anarchists. Post-colonial anarchists. Actually, just anarchists. Women.
Or the times they will
Women.
mention Reddit.
Wait, who was? Rydell? Wait, did you get him a puppy?
Worse. I made him a Reddit profile.
What have you done?
Honestly, this is the most reasonable
What have you
reaction to a
done?
sentence like that. For some reason, the game has a set
It
of
really
days
is.
within a week where you need to get enough cash to get into these special races, which are qualifiers for this race called the Grand. Which, yes, some of the races also require you to pay to get into the race. If you win, you get the full prize. At first, I thought it was dumb, but the more I played it, I didn't even care, nor did I notice the money being taken from me. Oh yeah, A$AP Rocky is in this game.
I gotta feed my need for speed.
With how much they put him all over the marketing for this game, I almost forgot. They barely do anything with him. He has a few missions with him. Sometimes you race against him, and he appears in takeover events. But that's it, really.
And his music
I've seen a
is
lot
in the
of people
game.
claim this is the worst Need for Speed, and I disagree. It is far from perfect, and it does not touch games like Most Wanted 05, Carbon, or Underground 2. However, I really enjoyed the game. I like it a lot, and yeah, it has its problems, sure, like the AI. Oh yeah, did I mention the racers' AIs? They aren't very good sometimes. Kind of reminiscent of Underground's poor AI, nowhere near as nightmarish. Sometimes they will just randomly rubber band behind you so quickly it's insane. And with all that aside,
What the fuck
I'm gonna
happened?
put this game at the top of A tier. Yeah, deal with it. So let's move on to the final ranking.
Where it belongs.
Originally, I was gonna include the mobile game Need for Speed No Limits. The reason why I didn't, I mean, look at it. Why should I? We are going to work our way from the bottom of the lowest tier all the way up to the highest tier. So let's do this. Starting with D tier. At number 23, in dead last, Need for Speed Payback. Number 22, Need for Speed Undercover. Number 21, Need for Speed
Insane,
Rivals.
man.
Number 20, Need for Speed
I like the
Nitro.
Undercover.
And that is
You
all
think
for
this
D
game is
tier.
better
Now,
than
moving
Undercover?
on to C
There's no
tier.
way.
Number 19, Need for Speed 2. Number 18, Road and Track presents The Need for Speed. Number 17, Need for Speed 2015. Number 16, Most Wanted 2012. Number 15, Need for Speed Shift. Number 14, Need for Speed Pro Street. That will be all from C tier. So now let's move on to B tier. Number 13, Porsche Unleashed. Number 12, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. Number 11, Hot Pursuit 2. Number 10, Need for Speed The Run. Number 9, Need for Speed High Stakes. Number 8, Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. Number 7, Need for Speed Underground. That is all
Number
of B
12.
tier. So now on to A tier. Number 6, Hot Pursuit 2010. Number 5, Need for Speed Heat. Number 4, Need for Speed Unbound. And that is all for A tier. And finally, on to S tier, the final 3 games in the ranking.
Okay.
At number 3, we got ourselves Need for Speed Underground 2.
All
at
right.
number 2, Most Wanted 2005. And finally, at number 1, it's Need for Speed Carbon. And that's it. Here is the full
Fair.
tier list for you guys to see. And that's
Fair.
my full ranking.
That's probably where I would put those last few games at.
And that's it. Here is the full.
Although I'd put Undercover in at least low B tier. And Hot Pursuit should be moved up to A. Hot Pursuit 2, I mean. Most Wanted should be in A. I don't know about the rest of them. Rivals should. Did I say Most Wanted goes in A? Most Wanted and Rivals go in B. Most Wanted 2012, that is.
Full tier list for you guys to see. And that's my full ranking of every game in the series. Was I fair towards these games? No. Was I nostalgia blinded? Absolutely.
No, this
I
was
know
a
for
good
fact
video,
people
bro.
will be upset.
Like I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe to this guy. Bro, that's crazy. He has 2 million views from 2 years ago and still only has 6.17k subscribers. This world is not fair, bro. Somebody subscribe to this guy. He deserves it. Holy shit. Was I wrong about Rivals? Huh. We'll watch that at different time. I watched the Need for Speed movie. Did this movie have Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad in it? Okay, we gotta watch that too at some point. Alright, anyways, chat. That's gonna be the end of the video. I'm probably gonna go take a shower and go to bed. I'm not gonna lie. I'll see y'all later.